Okay, so I saw this article a few days ago, and it's kind of the craziest thing I've seen in a while. And this is kind of a rant video more than anything, um, because what happened a few days ago is that Instagram censored the Cochrane Review. And if you've watched my videos about ivermectin, you know that the Cochrane Review is like basically the most respected group in systematic reviews and meta-analyses, and they do research on all across the board in all aspects of medicine, and they're universally respected by doctors. And they they Instagram somehow censored them for allegedly sharing false content about COVID-19, which is the most ridiculous thing I've ever heard of. And Cochrane tweeted back to them, "Hey, you can't do it," because this is what it said. It said, "Can't mention the Cochrane Review, can't be at mentioned because it has repeatedly posted content that goes against our community guidelines on false content about COVID-19 or vaccines," which is absolutely nuts. Now, I've actually been on the receiving end of this censoring. YouTube, Facebook, a couple other places have censored my posts and videos and for, quote, misinformation or not meeting community standards, or I don't know exactly how they worded it. But now I know that this is probably just an algorithm that blocked the Cochrane Review, because I can't believe that actually some human being was actually this dumb to block the Cochrane Review. So I think it's an algorithm. So I understand why they want to do this. It is a problem. We do have a misinformation problem, and that is one of the major reasons I started this channel, is because there is a problem with misinformation. And we know that here's a study out of the Pew Research Center that about 70% of Americans get at least some of their news from social media. And what we know is that on social media, fake news or bad information travels way faster than real information. Why is that? According to this, it's because false information elicits surprise and disgust or anger in people, and then they're more likely to do something like retweet it or spread it on or send it to their friends. Um, and this is a problem because generally you would think that we should just let everyone speak, and that good ideas will rise to the top, and that good information will stamp out bad information. Unfortunately, because of the way that social media works by driving engagement. I mean, social media's goal is not to give you good information. Their goal is to keep you on their platform so they can send you advertising so that they can make money. So their algorithms are based on what gives you the most engagement, what keeps people on there the most. And what happens is the stuff that drives the most engagement is the stuff that makes people the most angry or the most surprised or is the most novel. And unfortunately, it tends to be that wrong information tends to elicit those things more often than real information. So in the marketplace of ideas, if you just let them run on its own, if you let things run their natural course, bad information is likely to win out over good information. So knowing that most people are getting their information from these social media networks like YouTube and Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, those kinds of things, these platforms understand that they have some social responsibility, and they're trying to try to give good information, or what they perceive as good information. um, and they're doing it the way that they know how, which is by writing computer algorithms to say it. But these computer algorithms are just notoriously bad at figuring out what's good information and bad information. As in this case, they censored the Cochrane collaboration, which is crazy. Like, that's pretty much like one of the best information sources you're going to get, and they censored it for, quote, not following their community guidelines. um, so I don't know what the right answer here is, but I think that if if you know that your algorithms aren't perfect and you don't know what the right thing to do is, maybe you should err on the side of not censoring things. Um, I think these these people just don't give the general public enough credit. They think that people are just too dumb to understand the nuance of things. But I think if you try to explain it carefully, people can sort of figure it out. It's a little hard because I think we're at the point in the world right now where there's so much information and so much knowledge that it really takes a lot of specialized knowledge to figure out what's right and what's wrong. Like if I had two mathematicians arguing some math topic, I would have no idea who's telling the truth and who's not, and who's right and who's wrong. I would probably go with whoever's more charismatic and sounded more compelling. But the more charismatic and more compelling speaker may not be the person that has the right information. I think there was a time, maybe like 1,000 or 1,500 years ago, when a reasonably intelligent person could know enough about lots of topics. Hold on, my battery's about to die. Lots of topics um, to. Okay, there we go. Like enough about various topics to make a kind of informed decision about two experts arguing about something. Right now, I don't think that's the case. You know, as like my video on placebo, if you want to watch that, I'll link that above, shows, things that seem to make sense. They have a mechanism, and it seems by common sense that it should work that way. When they're tested rigorously, do not turn out to be the case. So common sense is not always a good guide to what is true. And then like gut feelings and things that seem intuitively correct are often very wrong. Like a very good example is something called the birthday paradox. And the question in the birthday paradox is, if you had a room with 23 people, what are the chances that two people would have the same birthday? Now, intuitively, when I thought about it, I'm like, well, that chance has got to be really low. Like the chances that two people on a small group of 23 have share the same birthday, because a birthday, there's 365 possibilities, right? So the chance that me and one other person share a birthday is like 1 in 365. So that's a very low chance. And the chance that in 25 people, I would intuitively think, it's about like 23 out of 365, so maybe 10% or a little less than 10%. But actually, the real answer is it's like 50%. There's a 50% chance that if 23 people are in a room, that two of them are going to share the same birthday. It seems intuitively completely wrong. But if you go through the probability and understand the math, it is completely correct. And so we're at a we're at a difficult place in the world's history where we have so much knowledge and information that it takes very specialized knowledge to understand things. And um, when you get someone who sounds authoritative and sounds compelling, explain technical things, if they're charismatic and they can explain it well, they could explain um, they could be telling complete misinformation and it sound very convincing. And also, especially if the thing that they're saying um, fits with your predetermined bias, it also seems to make common sense and seems to intuitively make sense, then even if it's completely wrong, a lot of people are going to go for that. And so I understand why these people want to kind of um, push out misinformation, but I think there has to be a better way of doing it, because these algorithms that are censoring, quote, misinformation just do a really terrible job of it. And I think like Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, they just, they're not experts on health topics. They don't know. And they have too much content for some expert to go through it. Um, so in that case, my suspicion is that if you don't have a great way of doing it, and you don't know what you're doing, then maybe the best thing is not to censor and just let things be. rather than doing this kind of stuff. Because this kind of stuff just basically drives it, it suppresses good information in this case, and it drives even more mistrust of things. So anyway, my rant is over for this. Thanks for watching.